person coming in. Engagement.
All right, I think we're good. My computer decided to restart.
Hello?
While I restart. So, yeah, hi, Dave.
Hi, welcome.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Oh, shit.
We didn't do an episode last week. It was very much necessary. He
Yeah.
was like, I don't know if I'll make it on time. There's something going on for work. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, no, they're hey, Red Lion Head.
Things are working. Hey,
I know.
welcome.
I know. It's. I'll message you. I'll message you a little bit later. Yeah, man. It's been an adventure these last couple weeks, but yeah, no. Like I texted you on Thursday because I got into work, and
I've never heard you use the phrase "putting out fires" before.
Yeah.
That must be actually bad.
Well, I told my dad that. I was like, yeah, I'm putting out a fire. He's like, is it a literal fire? I'm like, no. There's a fire. Like, so what had happened was at 4 a.m., all of our servers just crashed. Every single one of our servers. Well, not every single one, but pretty much every single one that was hosted in a certain spot. That's a majority of the apps that we sell and all the data.
Right. I'm just, it's noteworthy. It needs to be kind of chewed on.
Yeah,
for
see,
a second.
exactly. There you go. Fletch knows. Thank you, Fletch. What's up, man? How you doing? But yeah.
Sorry to missing the chat last week, by the way.
At 4,
we had a visitor and I failed him.
oh, you
But
fail.
everything's working.
You fail me every day.
Chat is working. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
no. At 4 a.m., all of our servers came crashing down, and I got in at 8 a.m. and it was just I was the first one in the office. People were working remote, and everybody just came straight to my desk. And when everybody sat at my desk, I got VPs, CTOs, whole bunch of people circling around my desk. And then when people started trickling in, we all got into a conference room. We were there from 8 a.m. until 1 a.m. So
That's a long time. Yeah, and we were going to start this at 9, so you still went for like 4 hours.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I got the feeling it wasn't going to happen. And,
Yeah.
I had homework and group projects and stuff going on, and I was just like, yeah. Thank
Right.
you.
And it was like at first things looked good at 11 a.m. And I text my dad, I'm like, hey, you know what? I may be able to get out of here in time. And then, because I was going to go train.
Yeah, no.
But then it got closer to 2 o'clock. I'm like, okay, as long as I told him, I was like, we're making good progress. And then came 4 o'clock. I was like, no, there's no way I'm fucking leaving.
So you basically went through the 5 stages of death and dying. You're like bargaining. You're like, at least maybe I can go in for a couple
Accept
hours.
it. Yeah, exactly. Denial. Yeah. I actually did go through the whole stage.
Yeah.
Now you talk about it, because there was one time that they were writing out a timeline of like what our projected times were going. And some of them were like projected at like 5 a.m. us to be done. And I was like, there's no way I'm fucking staying here. I'm like,
Yeah, that's miserable.
It's like, I'm going through a whole bunch of stuff in my head. But yeah, I probably went through all the stages of denial. Yeah. Of grief. Not denial.
Yeah,
Grief.
The stages of grief.
So yeah, how about you? How have you been in this last 2 weeks?
I've had some exciting times. Today I had a mole removed off my back, thinking it might be cancerous. They didn't seem worried, so I'm like, okay. I've just had some weird. I have this like damaged toenail that has this like black stripe down it. I'm like, is this bad? I don't know. Am I gonna die? And they're like, nah, it's fine. So everything's good. I don't know if you're familiar. Hopefully the chat isn't familiar with it, but are you familiar with my ear growth?
Yeah.
I had a girl call it my ear toe.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it grow over the years.
It's going away. It's going away.
Good.
Yeah.
I've had the start of cauliflower ear from jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like cauliflower ear is almost like a badge of pride. Like nobody cares about your ears, anyways. No one's like,
are you kidding me?
No one's like, I would have hang out with that guy, but the ears were a deal breaker for me.
I've seen some people that have some real bad cauliflower ear. I'm like, I can't be your friend. I just can't be seen out in public with you. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that shallow.
Especially if you're in a group of fighters and everybody has been kicked in the head a million times. You're like, yeah, we're cool.
But no, I mean, if you see, Kyokushin fighters, they don't have cauliflowers. It's just mainly the wrestlers and the jiu-jitsu people. They are the ones that have the cauliflower ears, and I've seen some that are just like pretty much sealed shut. I'm like,
ooh.
How do you wear earplugs?
Yeah, weird.
You don't.
Sometimes you wonder. Being a human, actually being any living thing is so strange. Like, you could be impaled by a steel beam in a train rack and like be okay, but then you get like the sniffles and you're dead. And it's just like, you're the ultimate, machine that heals itself, and then you're like super fragile,
Yeah.
defenseless meatbag.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a seeing some shit exactly like that. You just it impales you, like just misses all the vital organs.
Yeah. Did they ever have to in school teach you that story about the brain where this guy had a railroad spike go in the bottom of his chin and out the top of his skull?
Ugh.
And it actually cleanly separated the two halves of his brain, and that was like the case study in how they figured out what the two halves of the brain do. Because
Wow.
they could just literally study this guy's like dysfunction and figure out why it's happening.
Holy shit! Did not ever hear that.
I think was it psychology? It was like it separated his corpus callosum and his case.
So, Red Lionhead, you're doing you might be doing a competition in January. Where at? Over there in Norway, or you flying somewhere else? Because I know there's a lot of tournaments.
Or is it an eating competition? I'm just kidding.
What?
Is
it eating competition?
He just said competition, and I could just be like,
No, he said speaking of Kyokushin.
oh, I don't know. I'm new to working chat, so
Okay.
bear with me.
Sweden, driving down. Yeah, see, yeah, and man, he's just like, oh yeah, I'm in Norway, just gonna drive down to Sweden. I mean, I guess that's like kind of me. Yeah. Like, I have a fight in 2 weeks in New York, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna fly up to New York. So I guess it's kind of the same thing.
Well, it's kind of, but not. I saw an article. Well, it was actually a meme, but it was long, so I'll call it an article. It's like an English guy is like, I only see my dad a couple times a year. It's too far. It's 45 minutes away. And the guy asking him was like, my commute is an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean that's far? 45. But also, I think people are very car adverse in most of Europe, not just for necessity because of space reasons, but it's just like, I don't know. It's a different culture, especially in Florida. That there's no decent public transportation, so not having a car is like, what?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
I mean, I just think that Florida just sucks in the public transportation realm.
Yeah, well, the heat is also. I'm born and raised, and I'm just like, I just don't want to do it anymore. I just can't take it.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I want to get the hell out of Florida, but it's a double-edged sword because it's like I don't want to go somewhere that gets too cold.
Yeah, I don't want to own a winter wardrobe.
Right, but I don't want to be here.
And a hoodie,
like,
I'm good.
Like Red Lionhead, he's talked to me a few times about they don't have air conditioning up there because it doesn't. But sometimes it gets.
Why pay for a car with air conditioning if you're never going to use it?
But sometimes it does get kind of hot,
mm-hmm.
and you may have to. Open up the windows or something like that. But
what about that heat wave in Japan where people were just like dying because no one's had AC there and no one's needed it for 100 years?
Right.
And all of a sudden it's like 90 degrees. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
And I was saying like where my brother is, where he lives, he doesn't Washington State.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing. He doesn't have air conditioning. He has a heater,
mm-hmm.
And the vents in all around the house. But
open a window, honey.
But it's just like I was there. I want to say October, November.
Mm-hmm.
No, it had to have been August, like 2 years ago. And by the time it was like 4 p.m., I was miserable. I was like, I need to get inside. I need to get in the heat.
Right. Could you imagine riding your motorcycle and
Nope.
Get off where you're going and your hands don't open. You're like,
I've done that. I have ridden my motorcycle in the cold, in the rain, and stuff like it. And it's just like exactly. You get off and it's like, I feel like all my bones popping, my arthritis. Like, bruh, we're done.
It is nice being in the modern world where being deathly cold doesn't just like get you killed. I'm gonna go hide under a tree and hope a wolf doesn't eat me.
You've driven a motorcycle in the snow. Now you have balls. I cannot do that.
Do they even make snow tires for motorcycles?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they do.
I mean, also you could get
they don't sell them in Florida. I'll tell you that.
You get the steel chains. Exactly. Oh my God, that's loud. Sorry.
Chains.
There we go.
For some reason, I'm comfortable with chains on cars, but for some reason, the concept of chains on motorcycles just makes me nervous. It just seems like another thing that could go wrong.
Chains on a motorcycle,
something about the immediacy of it being right under me, and I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with that for some reason.
Just riding a motorcycle in general.
Well, yeah, the concept of tire chains makes it worse. But you're right. I've only been on a motorcycle twice. The first time I was too young to remember. The second time it was like a super juiced up, souped up Jigster, and the guy went like 120 in a wheelie.
Okay, yeah.
On a residential road in my neighborhood, and I'm like screaming the
whole
time.
No.
This is not worth dying, but it's a funny joke and all, but
you can't do
I
that.
actually could die.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I haven't done stupid stuff because
was in the military, so he's like, I got all this money. I'm on leave. I have,
What's up, Rocktism?
Shit. Yeah.
Don't worry, Rocktism. I always shit talk myself. It's okay. I mean, I've done stupid stuff. So every year, my family, we would do a poker. It was kind of like a poker run down the Florida Keys. And you start. I love the Keys. You start in.
I would miss the Keys if I moved away.
Not Miami. You stop in Florida City.
Oh, okay.
So one of the southernmost, like,
it's basically only one road to get there. So like,
exactly. So you start in Florida City and you go hit all the Keys, and you get poker cards.
You ever seen those little deer?
What?
In the Keys, there's like a special breed of deer that's specific to the Keys, and they're like the size of Saint Bernard.
Okay, no, that's not what I'm talking about.
No, but anyway. I see them all over. They're like rodents down there.
But we would stop and hit all the Keys, and you would get a card, and then whatever it was. So then we would spend the weekend and then ride back up to Orlando. So me and my brother, he had a very souped up motorcycle,
and in the military, and too much money,
and me, we both had I mean, I still have my motorcycle, and it's very powerful. And he decided that he wanted to race. I'd probably hit about 120 miles per hour, and then I backed off, and he just kept going. And I saw my brother fly by, and I was like, "This is it. This is the last time I see my brother."
That's crazy. I feel like, I'm pretty good at hand-eye coordination. I have pretty quick reflexes just from years of gaming. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. Did I like gaming because I have good reflexes, or did I have good reflexes because I like gaming? Anyways, I would do well. I would drive well. I'd drive carefully.
Yeah.
But someone would just be like.
Well, in Florida, in Florida, that's the thing. Exactly. In Florida, you have to be, as a motorcycle rider, you have to be more aware of the other driver. Ah, fuck, that hurt. That just hit my funny bone.
You have to be aware when you're driving a motorcycle. And elbowing metal rails.
Yeah. So you have to be more aware of the drivers around you, and you have to, be more conscious about, okay, that car 5 miles ahead, what can it do?
Yeah, he's on his phone. I'm going to die.
Exactly.
Also, it was a real revelation to me to understand that the reason people make their motorcycles as loud as possible is so you don't run them over.
Well, that's what my dad was telling me, because he has a Harley Davidson and he has it super loud, and that's what he was telling me, that when he was looking into it, that's what they said. A lot of people make it much louder because it helps people see. Right. Oh, okay, they hear. Oh, okay, there's a motorcycle behind me.
Well, I've had people kind of like change lanes into me in a car, just just a big truck where they're up a little higher than you, and they're just like, "Well, no one's around but me." And you're like, what the fuck? I'm right here.
I used to have a Subaru BRZ, which is the Toyota FRS. So it's a small sports car, exactly. It's very 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 low to the ground, and I would drive it around and somebody would almost cut me off, and I was like, what the hell? What's the problem? I rented an Escalade to drive down from here to Miami for my brother's bachelor party.
I rented an Escalade.
Yeah, because I'm not going to have everybody in my car. But
yeah, right. I mean, it's just renting.
Yeah, but I'm not buying an Escalade. Fuck that. Too much money. I'm not that.
Yeah,
no.
It's not worth it. But we were talking before we started. It's like, you could spend all that money on a Chevy, or you could spend the same amount of money on something really nice.
I'm driving down. And a BRZ pulled up next to me, and I was just curious. I looked over. I could not see it, and I was like, oh my God, it makes sense. Yeah. They cannot see me.
I mean, my car's pretty low. You've seen it.
Yeah.
And just being in, like, pulling out my neighborhood, and someone's in the left lane, and I'm trying to make a right turn, is like, I guess I'm just stuck here because I can't tell if the car's coming or not.
This is my life now.
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dave's dying.
Yeah. Let's have some unsponsored energy drink.
I had to get one of these because I was like falling asleep on the drive here. I was like, okay, let me go.
I don't think I've ever seen you drink an energy drink in my entire life.
Really? Mm-mm. You see me drink a lot worse.
Mm-hmm. Back when you were living with us and we were playing all the time, that was the first time I'd ever had an energy drink. We were playing a late show, and we all got a 5-hour energy, and my face turned bright red.
Yep.
And I felt really really ill, like almost go to the ER ill. And my sensory was so off that, like, it was almost like hallucinating. I couldn't tell if I was on time with the music, and I was just like, I'm gonna die. This is awful. And now here I am drinking like 2 a day. Like, this is not a big deal.
The first time that I had a 5-hour energy, I was in college, and I forgot what it was. I think it was either a project or an exam, and I was up all night. I was up all night and I had to go to work, and I was falling asleep after class. I got to work. It was like 10 a.m. I was working, and one of my buddies was like, "Oh, here you go." Yeah, Dave's gonna stream Rocksmith. Yeah, no, I was actually thinking about it. I'll talk to you later about that Rocksmith, or I'll touch up on that a little bit later.
Is there just singing on that? Because that's all I would ever.
No, there's no singing on it.
Okay, then
But one of my coworkers gave me a 5-hour energy. He's like, "Oh, here you go, just take this." I seriously had about 30 minutes of energy,
and
I was like, I had heart palpitations.
Yeah,
but I was
serious.
like, I'm good to go.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in a building that was 3 floors or 4 floors. It was 4 floors. I just went up and down the stairs. I was like, "You guys need me to run anything? Because I'll go." And then by the time half an hour was done, I came back to my desk like, I fucking hate my life.
Yeah, I've done that. I was working at a grocery store and we were really behind, and I was the shift manager, and I was like, we're gonna hustle, we're gonna get everything done. I always have an energy drink when I got there, and I was like, I'm gonna drink another one right now, and we're gonna go do this. And I drank it, and it was the same thing as the 5-hour. It was like, I was like, why do I feel so weird? And I felt my pulse. It was like,
Jesus,
sorry,
stop doing that.
You know what? I'm a grip.
It's gonna sound awful.
Well, it's supposed to be jarring. It was pretty damn jarring for me. I thought I was gonna die. So I went from have to get everything done to have to sit down or I'm gonna die, and everything got behind, and I was just like, I don't care, I don't want to die.
Did you ever have any of those alcohol energy drink? Exactly, four locos or anything?
I've had a couple.
So
have we talked about dragon soup on the show before?
Yeah.
People in the UK, they drink dragon soup over there, and it's pretty freaking awful. Listen, it was awful for me too to have my heart beat like that. Okay, that's what it sounded like.
But
I'm trying to create a visual auditory experience for you guys.
So I had a sip of Four Loko once, and I was like, this tastes like garbage. I'm never having it. But I had such a negative connotation to these energy drinks because
it's downers and uppers at the same time.
Yeah, I was waiting in line for Metal Gear Solid 4. My old roommate, he loved Sparks, which were it was
I think that's
energy.
gone now too, isn't it?
It's gone. They don't make it anymore. He had Sparks, and he had there was like one that was yellow and one that was black.
Bang, bang.
Vamonos. Yes, good job, Rock Tesla. Good job for knowing that song.
Yeah.
But the black one was more alcohol and energy, I believe, and I was like, oh fuck it, just give me it, because
I just got stuff to do.
Because I wanted to stay up. We were waiting in line at midnight for Metal Gear Solid 4. Then we went back to our place. I hooked up my PS3. He hooked up his PS3. We were playing together and all this stuff. We were up all night. I slept for about half an hour. Had the worst nightmares. Had like cold sweat. I woke up. Like half an hour, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to get some sleep. I passed out. I woke up. I was like, oh my god, and again, heart palpitations. I was just cold sweat. It was just the worst thing ever.
I feel like more research needs to be done on energy drinks, because your body just like sweats all this awful like overdose of vitamin B, and you just really have no idea what you're doing to yourself. Literally, I went to my doctor, and he was like, your blood pressure's through the roof today. And your blood pressure never tests high. He's like, did you have an energy drink? And I was like, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But he literally said something about, he was like, yeah, we don't know why it does that. I was like, what the hell do you mean? Like, all of medical science doesn't know why your your blood pressure just goes through the roof and drink an energy drink? Like, do we even fucking know what we're drinking at all?
It's gonna be like one of those things, kind of like the smoking the vapes and all the e-cigarettes. It's gonna be a prolonged period. I mean,
drinks.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sure. I don't know how new energy drinks are. Like I remember in
it was like a
high school.
Surge was like a very caffeinated soda.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like went.
Well, you had Surge, Mountain Dew. Those were like the high caffeinated. But I think like towards my senior year was when Red Bull and all those things started like becoming big, and then Monster, and then it just went downhill from there. But it's been some time. But I think that science should be up there.
Kind of sidesteps the FDA because it'll market itself as like a health supplement, so then it's like, oh, okay, as long as they don't make a claim that they have to verify, they can put whatever, as long as it doesn't straight up poison you.
Yeah, coffee I can't do though. I don't know. I've tried drinking coffee. I just don't like the taste of it. And
I'm not gonna lie, I straight up explosive diarrhea within half an hour.
Like I like one coffee I talked about before. It's coffee from I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
You're racist.
No. We're in the same boat, dude. We're both like white Hispanic dudes.
I'm not white. I'm full Hispanic.
I know, but you were raised gringo like I was.
Yeah, okay, there you go. But for me, it's Hawaii is a Kona coffee. Mm-hmm. I can only have that, but it's only like a special occasion when I'm in Hawaii. Yes,
I rent my Escalade. Coffee.
I said it to Kate. I think it was to Kate. I was like, oh yeah, the only coffee I can have is the Kona coffee when I'm in Hawaii. And like afterwards, I paused. I'm like, how pretentious do I fucking sound?
I mean, I love coffee. The same way that we could. No, I'm sorry. I went off.
Exactly,
off
Redline
land, then let my mouth run. I love the smell of coffee. I can walk up and down the.
No, I can't.
And just go.
I can't do it. The smell of it even just.
Cigars are the same way. As like I want to smell
cigars,
them
yes.
when they're not lit. And once they're lit, I'm like I'm out. I'm not interested.
I used to smoke cigars all the time. My dad would give me shit for it. And my uncle, he smoked cigars regularly, but he had like cheap cigars. And when I told him, how much I was spending on cigars, he was like, "Why the hell are you spending that much money? You're just burning it. You're smoking it."
Yeah, literally. My uncle is he just recently passed, like a cigar connoisseur.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to surprise him. I'm going to buy a cigar for him. And for someone who doesn't know anything about cigars to buy someone who does know something about cigars is like the worst idea you could ever have.
Yep.
It was like baby's first cigar. Like,
Babby's first cigar.
Just shake his head and be like,
you just
trying.
You just went to the Circle K, the 7-Eleven.
I went to.
I got $3. What can you give me?
I was going to like specialty tobacco shops before all these vape shops were around, and nobody really like had cigars. Nobody could help me, so I ended up with some, what I thought was like a higher end store bought cigar. I guess, like you said, from whatever store was open and on time for me to get to his birthday party on time. And I'm just not a very good gift giver. It's like I either hit the ultimate home run or I just fall flat on my face like after the first step.
Red Light Head. I know some people that are like that you could see their mood change when the caffeine starts to go down.
I'm like that with energy drinks. For me, it's almost like it's not so much the feeling of energy. I just feel different psychologically. I just feel like capable and ready.
Yeah,
it's like a psychological dependency to be caffeinated.
For me, I pretty much my caffeine intake is like one soda.
Mm-hmm.
But
that doesn't even register on my caffeine.
But that's a one Diet Coke. I mean, I'm not saying that Diet Coke has less caffeine than another Diet Coke or whatever. But man, it's just I can't. I could go without it, but before it was real bad because how much soda I was drinking in a day, and then when I started weaning myself off, when I was starting to eat healthier, exactly the caffeine headaches.
It's so weird because you'll get a headache for not having enough caffeine, and you'll get a headache for having too much caffeine. It's just a downward spiral.
Yeah.
Speaking of zero, Coke Zero, whatever. Since we had the fitness talk on here, I've been trying to eat better. Yeah. For one of my classes, we did we were supposed to make data like graphs of whatever, and I graphed my eating, and it ended up revealing that like whenever I eat with my wife, I eat horribly. Whenever I eat by myself, I eat really well.
So you know what that means, right?
Killer.
I was gonna say divorce, but okay, that's an option.
And I was just thinking that when you read the nutrition facts on like a Coke or a Diet Coke and it's like calories 0, isn't that the same as like saying there's nothing in here that your body recognizes as food? Isn't that basically it? Like your body's not going to use this.
Well,
your body doesn't want this.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that all works. I mean, that's definitely something for a nutritionist that is way beyond me.
Yeah, I feel like Rocktism has it pegged. If you have ADHD, caffeine it's almost like Ritalin. It'll calm you down instead of waking you up.
But
I sleep on caffeine all the time.
Caffeine.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, caffeine. Like I saw.
I was ADHD, so I changed gears as soon as I saw the word ADHD.
Yeah, I saw Rocktism mention that about ADHD. I'm just curious about caffeine and how that affects people with ADHD. Obviously, but yeah, I'm not sure about the whole how your body metabolizes that because it's like okay, this is nothing, you know. But I mean, it's the same thing as celery. They say you actually burn calories.
Makes sense. It's just
with
water
eating
suspended in like a plant cellulose.
Yeah, you burn it because it takes more effort to chew and swallow it and to do it than it does to actually.
So you're telling me I should eat nothing but celery? Is what you're telling me?
Oh yes, sir.
Okay. And lettuce, iceberg lettuce. It's the same idea. It's just water suspended in cellulose.
We'll just.
They're learning.
I'm just gonna shove lettuce down your throat.
Last episode, they learned how to properly use a semicolon and a colon. And now they're learning about lettuce and celery and cellulose.
Did we talk about
Didn't we? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
To some extent. It feels like an eternity ago.
It does.
So much has happened.
I got a haircut. I shaved.
I need to get better at shaving. Like, I went to kind of trim it and give it some shape.
So,
I went too hard on one side, and now I'm like hoping nobody looks at it directly.
So Rocktism, you just brought up something else with the Adderall and all that. So what can the caffeine counteract the Adderall or any kind of
shit? Now you're really playing chemistry with your body.
Because I mean that's the same thing as like uppers and downers. You're mixing it. Do they counteract each other or something like that? Somebody that has ADD, ADHD, something like that.
Some of them are subjective too. Like alcohol, objectively it's a downer, it's a depressant. But some people just get like hyped up and want to fight on alcohol. It's just kind of like depends on your.
I thought this was America.
Yeah, depends on who you are. I guess I don't know how it works.
Yeah. No, I was curious about that. I mean, I haven't taken Adderall or anything like that. Yeah, I'm not.
The whole group of kids that I grew up with, it was like we were all super ADHD, and my best friend growing up was super, super medicated, and I was not, and it was just like a case study in like what not to do, like to over medicate yourself. Yeah. Did we talk about that?
No.
I'm just so paranoid to repeat myself at this point. When we get into we're in the double digits now. Congratulations, not a burger. I thought it was because you were so I went to blow, and then I was like, "Oh shit, it's not a party blower." It's like, what do I do? It's like panic, dead air. But anyways, yeah, we're in double digits. We skipped an episode. Next week or the week after, we're gonna have to get creative because Robbie's gonna be flying out for a fight. Yeah,
so next week will be a regular episode, and the following week I have a fight that I have to fly out for. I fly out Friday morning, but that's at the crack of dawn in the morning. So either we're gonna have to do it remotely or something, but we'll figure it out.
It'll be me and like a face drawn on a kazoo. I'm like a second.
This is Robbie.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Y'all are gonna get to know my cat really well. I feel like my cat. Everybody like feels like their dog is the best dog or their cat is the best cat, but I feel like my cat is just like waiting to be the most famous cat in the universe.
So Red Lion had brought something up interesting that's also makes me kind of like want to talk about the soda.
Oh hey.
So Red Lion had said caffeine is actually a product to kill bugs.
Yeah. What is that? I need more info. There.
But it's kind of like because. One of the things that kind of like turned me away from Coca-Cola was, all these years, everybody's like, oh, Coca-Cola, it can dissolve a bone. It can eat away rust and stuff like that.
You based your decision on urban.
Well, no, it's not that. I actually knew somebody that started getting stomach ulcers because of how much Coke they were drinking. And I was like,
super bad for your teeth too.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be like that, man. That is crazy though, that, you could put something in soda, let it sit there for a few days, and I'm not saying that it'll exactly. People say, oh, in 24 hours a whole bone will be disintegrated. No, I don't think that's that quick, but it can easily disintegrate something that
You ever clean the terminals of your car battery with?
That's what. Yes, I have. Exactly. You get that battery corrosion. You just pour some on there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the two things you don't want in your mouth is acid and sugar, and Coca-Cola is both of them. Or we keep harping on Coca-Cola just because it's synonymous with pop or cola in the United States, or the world probably by this point.
Yeah.
But the bacteria like eats the sugar and creates acid, and then just your teeth just die, and your blood sugar goes up, and your, like you said, acid reflux. It's just terrible.
Yeah, and like I said, just the sheer amount, and I think that's also one of the things that stopped me from drinking beer so much was I started getting so much pain in my stomach, and it just brought me memories of my buddy who was like, he started getting stomach ulcer. Like, oh girl.
I had a kidney stone when we lived at the band house.
Did you?
Yeah, I went to the ER and I was like freaking out and in so much pain. I was like, you got to do something for me right now. Like, I'm dying.
When I was living with you guys, or
it must have been right after.
Okay.
Yeah, and and after that I just cut out like the brands of energy drinks I was drinking at the time, carbonated stuff, Gatorade. Gatorade's really bad for. I don't know why, for kidney stones. It's just something in it.
I mean, Gatorade's good for like quick recovery. For like we just had some.
It has a lot of salt in it.
Yeah, the electrolytes and all that. But we just had a fighters class because we have 7 people fighting in the tournament the next week, 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And one of the guys he just was not having, throwing up all over the place. So I was like, trying to like drown him in Gatorade. Like get recovered. Come on, get back out there.
Baby, drink up.
Yeah.
Pat. His like eyes hanging out of his head. You're like, come on.
I got this.
Just one good hit. That's all you need.
Well, yeah.
I mean, hit on the opponent, not like do a hit. Do a hit of Gatorade.
Do a hit.
Oh, I'm ready.
Just main vein that shit, bro.
Oh man.
God.
So Robbi, week before last, I wanted to talk to you about something that had happened to me very recently to then, which is not recently to now, and I can't name any names, but obviously I have a irreverent sense of humor, and it gets me in trouble sometimes.
You're talking big words.
I am edgelord.
Yeah.
Are we closer? Do you get it?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
And I'm gonna steal a quote that a coworker of mine told me. He's like, when I meet someone, I'm like, I have a dark sense of humor, and they're like, I have a dark sense of humor too, and they're like, well, how dark? And he's like, dark enough that I don't feel comfortable going first. It's like, you give your example. I don't want to say.
Have you seen my podcast? Here you go.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, I feel like I get a good kind of rapport with people, and it works easily because nothing's off limits, and they know that they can't offend me. So sometimes I assume that goes both ways, and then it doesn't. Yeah. And then I have to apologize, but that's okay.
You get written up by HR. And,
almost multiple jobs actually. And anyways, at this job, there's a manager who is above me, and I thought we had a pretty good rapport. She had a good sense of humor. I've heard her swear, so I was like, yeah, we're just buds. Yeah, we can turn it on and off when we need to. So she was like, yeah, what have you been up to today? And to me, if you were my boss and you were like, so what have you gotten done today? Or what have you accomplished so far today? I would be like, well, sir, I've done, I would give you a formal answer. But if you're like, hey, what have you been up to? I'm going to give you an informal answer because it's an informal question. So I was like, nothing real interesting. And she was like wanting to hear a rundown of like everything I'd gotten accomplished. So her eyes got wide and she was like steaming out the ears. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm new here. This is going to make my life miserable. She's going to hate me. She's never going to treat me the same again. And then she got fired for rumoredly sex at work. So, okay. I mean, I can't confirm or deny, and I can't name names. I can't name places. Yeah. And people always, gossip and scandalize about, the no answer is always like automatically the worst answer, Yeah. If they don't tell you what happened, you're automatically like, oh, he killed someone,
Ross just wants to know if you can name positions. Can you name that? I mean, you don't even know name places or people, just the positions.
Work doesn't leave a lot of opportunities for creativity, in sexual positions. So I assume
when you're doing it in the broom closet, that's not much room space.
It's like a shower. It's like, this could be better, But, so when I'm worried that I'm going to offend somebody, it doesn't matter. They're gone. So I'm like, I'm clear.
Yeah. So kind of the same thing. We have this new girl. She got hired probably like 3 months ago, something like that. And one of the guys that sits behind me, he and I, we kind of joke around and we kind of like push it to the edge. Like
I love it.
He and I were on the same team. We like whenever our team is together, we just dick around and joke around.
You know what?
But
I want to take that opportunity to tell you that like Slack has GIFs. Like these.
Yes.
These apps that are made for work have dicking around built in.
Yeah.
It's like team building exercise.
Exactly. But we started talking about chicken wings. Then we got into turkey legs. And then we got into talk about cannibalism, and it just like kept going. And she like kind of like perked up and looked at us, and
you guys are cannibals. Me too.
Well, that's kind of like what I was like joking around. Oh, she, so and so just perked up right when we said cannibalism, and then I stopped for a second. I was like, I didn't mean to offend you or anything. She's like, trust me, I'm not the one that's always getting offended. I'm usually the offender. Yeah. And I'm like.
You know what? When I feel bad for a girl at work, it's not because of like you said, offended, social justice warrior corporate culture. I just feel bad because we just dick around. Like women are a little more straight laced especially in a work environment, and guys are just like, like we're spraying each other with fire extinguishers in the bathroom. Shooting, hitting golf balls into rush hour traffic.
Yeah. Yep.
Blowing things up. Naming all things that we've done at work. We set off all the car alarms for like 5 miles in every direction. It's just, just the usual boy hijinks.
Okay, so that was your story about the about almost kind of like offending her.
There's other things at work. I had another one on deck, but you buy time for me so I can sort out my brain.
Oh, I don't. The one about the drug test was the one that you were gonna tell.
Oh yeah, thank you. How did you know that?
Because I remember what you told me.
Yeah. Okay. That's another one.
Yeah. He texted me like between the weeks that obviously, unfortunately because of our schedules we only see each other on these Thursdays. But Dave,
it's kind of useful though.
Dave will text me.
Energized.
Exactly. Dave will text me. Hey. This, and this. Make sure you remind me.
Yeah,
so I always remember.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So I hurt myself at work, and the boss is like, "Oh, it's a policy. We're gonna have to fill out so and such paperwork." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. I want to be covered by workers' comp in case something is actually wrong with me and I don't realize it just yet." And she's like, "And you're gonna have to take a drug test." I was like, "Not a problem. Like, What are you saying? Are you saying like?" I'm sorry you're going to lose your job because we both know you're going to fail this drug test. No, I'm going to pass the drug test.
Yeah.
I'm not a dumb ass kid in a state that weed isn't legal.
No, you're just a dumbass adult.
Blaze it every night while I'm at school doing homework till midnight. No. I'm an adult. I can handle my shit, okay, lady.
Yeah, it's like I've worked at some so most of my past 4 jobs I've been in the IT world, and every time that in the IT thing you have those people that are just like so obviously
they don't give a shit,
baked, stoned, or that's what they do in their free time, but it's just amazing. Like
how they even function at all.
I worked with one guy who was a DBA, a database administrator. I don't know how he functioned because of how stoned he looked every day, and one day I was playing PUBG with him, and
you just like drove a car into the ocean.
No, and all of a sudden, also I hear the lighter, and then I hear the water bong.
Wait.
Yeah. I hear his water bong. I'm like, bro.
Yes, I can make water bong noises with my mouth, and I'll still pass drug test. Okay.
I was like, bro. What are you doing? He's like, oh, sorry, man. I had to take a quick hit. I'm like, what the fuck? But then
we work together. Like, I'm your boss. Like,
I wasn't his boss, but I'm just like, this is nuts. And how do you function? And there, I've worked in pretty much one of my first real professional ones was not really professional, but was tech support, phone tech support. And guys would just go out into their cars, smoke a joint, come back and get right on the phone. Like, how?
I kind of feel like, okay, that's fine. For them, I kind of feel like, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But you have to do that.
It's just like, how do you guys function like that?
I was put in a situation where I was at an auto garage, and it was kind of common knowledge that they kind of had it out for me and wanted to get rid of me. And we were at like a work hangout, and the assistant manager was like sparking it up. Is like, hey, you want to smoke? And I'm like, this is a trap. Like,
yeah.
Oh, your boss wants me gone. What are you doing? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Not
safe. I told the story about the guy who at that work function who bought a gun at a pool hall, right?
No, what?
Yeah, this guy. I told you about the guy who got knocked out and didn't show up for work.
Yes,
okay, it's the same guy. He got knocked out by a prostitute.
Oh no, you didn't tell me that.
Okay,
a guy got knocked out by a prostitute. What?
No call, no show. This guy doesn't show up for work. Shows up 2 or 3 days later with a knot on his head the size of a full-on softball, and he's like, I went to pick up a prostitute. She set a trap for me, hit me in the head with a brick, knocked me out, and took all my money, and I didn't wake up for like 2 days.
Oh my God.
Like and it was just like, and the same guy, we all went to a pool hall for a work function, and he like did the like movie pass where you like pass somebody money and they pass you something, and it's kind of like really down low, and it was a gun wrapped in a newspaper. And I said some innocent, sweet summer child thing like, hey, what are you guys doing over there? He's like, don't worry about it. I'm like,
how'd you find out it was a gun though?
I saw it. Like it was a revolver. It was like a 38 or something.
Oh my God.
Like, what is going on? It was Pine Hills. So for our listeners that aren't from Florida, Pine Hills is also known as Crime Hills. It's an interesting place to work.
Jesus, wow, man.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. A guy there got fired for full-on stealing tires, like full brand new tires.
How do you steal tires?
He had a system. I don't want to tell it because I don't want people to know the secret.
Okay.
But Yeah, he was throwing out new tires as if they were taken off of cars that we had worked on, and was coming back after work and picking them up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I understand how that works.
It's supposed to be like pretty secure when you throw them away, but apparently not secure enough. But work is fun. You know, I've almost died multiple times in the auto shop. I fell off the second floor of the warehouse because I was doing an inventory, and there's a trap door that they throw tires up to the second floor because it would just take forever to go all the way around the building to go upstairs.
And that trap door was open?
And someone left the trap door open, and I was doing inventory, and it was like near the end of the night, and I was in a hurry, and I had a clipboard, so I was like walking, looking at tire, looking at tire, and then whoop, like cartoon right through the floor. And
like Wile E. Coyote, the clipboard stays there, and you're all the way down the bottom.
Wile E. Coyote, because my reaction was clipboard and pen. Just don't even care. Toss. Yeah. Arms to the side. Its tires racked and they're like bowed out.
You try to grab on something.
I braked down. From the first floor to the second floor to the first floor, like with my arms and my legs.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's good.
They're oily when they're.
Oh, okay, yeah. Tires, yeah.
Yeah,
man.
But I literally could have died, and I was like, not a scratch. It was like I had fallen out of a plane without a parachute, and was just like, I'm okay.
I mean, I'm trying to think like crazy stories that I've had, and nothing. I have no real crazy stories.
I mean, you ever worked in food service? Because those are savages.
No, I have not. I used to work.
The auto shop is the worst savages though, because they have power. It's like, dickhead kids with power tools, basically.
I did used to work at the airport, at the Orlando airport, and I want to say, you see some interesting characters in the Orlando airport, and one of the things, in some airports back then, it was 2007, 2008. Mm-hmm. Back then, some of the airports around the world, you could still smoke in the airports.
In 2007 and 8?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess so. Outside the U.S., that makes sense.
Well, even in the U.S., because
I know in the 70s they would like smoke on the planes.
In Las Vegas, when I went to Las Vegas in 2006, I think it was, or 2007, people just lighting cigarettes and walking around the airport. It was fine, just walking all around. But
Robbie, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Oh, sorry. I'm standing there because so where my shop was. We were right in front of the food court, and that's where a lot of people congregate. And one of the guys from the shop next door, we were both hanging out, just talking, and this lady walks by, just lights up the cigarette, and just starts smoking it. And we're like, "Ma'am, you can't smoke that." And then finally TSA came by. I was like, "You can't smoke." She took like the biggest drag, blew it in his face, and just put it out right on the trash can. And just said, "Fine," and just walked away.
Cigarettes are so foul. Like when I smell someone who's obviously smoked cigarettes, I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
One time I was at a party, and there was this girl that I had a crush on for maybe 6 months or a year, and she was like really interested in me at the party for some reason, and we kissed, and she was like smoking cigarettes the whole party, and I was just like, you have ruined this for me. You have ruined my life. Vaping is alright. Like when I see people vape,
no.
it's kind of a joke. Nah, it's like a meme or whatever. But like I don't care if people vape.
What's up, Makoakeo?
Hey.
Joe, how you doing, buddy?
Hey.
Yeah,
party? What party?
Well, you just said you were just talking about.
Oh yeah, that party.
Come on, that was just like 2 seconds ago, Dave.
I don't know, I always feel like someone's trolling me, so I'm like, what?
Yeah. No, I mean, I've now I've gone back and thought about, I used to smoke. I wasn't like a big smoker. I would smoke one
I only smoke when I drink.
Oh, yeah. But no, most of the time me smoking was a social thing. Mm-hmm. So a pack of cigarettes would last me about 3 days, 4 days, something like that. It wasn't too bad. I wasn't a bad smoker. But when I stopped smoking and then I started meeting people, when I was single and stuff like that, and when they pulled out a cigarette and started smoking, I was like, no, no, thank you.
It's like the ad campaign where the girl's head turns into a fish or whatever.
Yeah, I dated a girl, just before me and Caitlin, that she smoked, and I tried to like, okay.
What about being in their car?
Well, yeah, it was like, at first I was like, okay, I'll just not mind it, and I was like, a couple days and I was like, nope, can't do this. Bye.
I kind of feel like this big government play against vaping is at the behest of big tobacco. because 4 accidents happen with vapes, and they're like, sound the alarm. Well, the sky is falling.
No. Well, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. The whole vaping thing, is a newer thing that has just started. I think that now it's because we didn't have the knowledge or the time to see how this affected people long term. Yeah. Now we are at that point where we see, it's not just, yes, there are the people who are smoking the black market THC ones that are they're cut with vitamin E or something like that. That's like messing them up.
Yeah, but it causes liquid inside your lungs or something like that.
But there are people that have been smoking regular vape, the jewel juice or oils, and the problem is that it's lining their lungs with this
oil,
pretty much calcified oil. Yeah. Ooh. And yes, there are the ones that they're doing the black market that they're just dumb. They shouldn't have done that in the first place. You
might as well just like jam it full of something out of your cabinet and smoke that. Who knows?
But now like I said, we have the knowledge. We see what the long term effect is, and it does threaten big tobacco. No doubt about it. And we know big tobacco is in the government and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And they're pulling a bunch of strings here and there. So they're like, oh, we want this out. But it's like, you guys are not any better.
Yeah, they're kind of in the game too. Like Philip Morris is in the Juul vape game or whatever. Yeah. But like, there's so much conflict of interest with lobbying. It's just like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the reasons why it's so hard for weed to legalize, because alcohol's lobbying against it, tobacco's lobbying against it. The private prison industry is lobbying against it because they're making way too much money keeping their prisons full of incarcerated marijuana users. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be.
Don't do it, Fletch. Don't do it. We need you around.
I'm a social farter, man. I got a farting problem too.
Dave always has a farting problem.
Like I always feel like someone always comes nearby me after I fart. Like it's almost comical. I'll be by myself in a grocery store. I'll look up and down the aisle. I'll fart, and then someone will literally like come running down the aisle and stop exactly where I'm at to grab something where I'm at.
And they know it's you because you're the only one there.
Yeah, like I literally just farted. I haven't taken a step, and they'll be like twice in a month. It was like a 10 beautiful woman like walking right up to me after I just farted. I'm like, am I on the Truman Show? Like what? Yeah. I don't understand.
So Red Lionhead just asked, question is vaping less harmful than traditional cigarettes? Like my dad stopped smoking and only vapes. He feels a lot better, and that guy is 60 years old. So I know that was the argument when I was smoking cigarettes, and the e-cigarettes.
There's no tar, right?
Wait, exactly. I was saying the e-cigarettes had just started pretty much when I turned 18, and I was smoking cigarettes regularly. And the whole thing is, you have nicotine. Everything else is just water vapors. Blah blah blah.
And you don't need a filter with like fiberglass and arsenic and weird shit.
Right, and that was the argument that you're not getting all the harmful. Yes, you're getting the nicotine to curb your addiction, I guess, for lack of better terms. But yeah, they're like, oh, it's healthier. But then I think that it changed. So before, like the e-cigarettes were just like, oh, they're vapor, water vapors in the air.
Candy,
but now it's you have these oils that you're putting in it. So I think that, and like Fletch said, we won't really know for another 20 years. And like I said, yes.
Yeah, when people start getting cancer.
And this is, I think that right now is, so 2006, 2009. Yeah, we're a little over 20 years or something like that. So we're starting to get to that point where, yes, we are starting to see how it's affecting people in the long term rather than, they've been doing this for 3 days and their lungs look better. Cool.
Yeah. Anecdotally, I would say definitely. Everyone in the chat is saying they feel better having vaped than smoking, or their family members feel better having vaped than smoking. And like, I know that you don't smell like shit. I know that.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a building where people have smoked for a long period of time?
Oh yeah.
Like my mom.
Oh, I've looked at before I bought this house. I walked into a house.
Take a picture off the wall, and there'll be like like white behind the picture, and brown.
I've walked into houses that smelt it, and even this house in my master bathroom, the owner used to smoke cigars in the bathroom, and when I first bought the house, and the steam from the shower would actually make the door pretty much
Break up
bleed, and it was just this yellow stuff. I was like, oh, that's disgusting.
My mom, she was a social worker for a long time, and she said that she's also a smoker my entire life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm so anti-smoking, because family car trips where I have to like have my head out the window or have a shirt over my face, just like, this smells like shit, I'm dying. And she said that, I don't know if it was her or her coworker had turned and said, when did they paint the walls in this building? And she was like, I don't know. And they went and started looking at pictures from like gatherings, like functions. The walls had slowly turned brown over the course of like 10 or 15 years. And if that's what the wall looks like just from your secondhand smoke, imagine we all know what the inside of lungs look like because we've seen the pictures in classes and stuff. It's foul.
Yeah, and Red Lion had, like you said, hopefully with vaping, your dad, obviously will hopefully, you're not getting as many bad toxins and all of that. So, hopefully he'll have more time than smoking regular cigarettes. And that's one of the things, one of the fighters that we have, he smokes, I think he said about a pack a day. He smokes about a pack a day. And last weekend or 2 weekends ago, he went to New Orleans for 3 days or 2 days, and he smoked 3 packs. And I'm just like, bro, if you're gonna be fighting in 2 weeks, stop smoking now. Because you gotta I think they say it's 10 to 14 days, something like that, your lungs start to repair itself.
Yeah.
Like if you're not smoking, they start to repair themselves.
I'm so glad I never took up smoking or like drinking
insert truth out here
to excess, because I have so many bad like motivation vices. I think one of the reasons why I drink so much caffeine is because the more weight I gain, the less energy I have. So I'm drinking caffeine to bring me up to like the normal energy level that I'm
You're trying to relive your 18 18 years.
Yeah, maybe something like that. But if I added smoking to that like lessened energy level that I have of like, oh, I have to run, oh god, what I remember I used to be able to run, or just anything like that. I just can't imagine how awful my life would be, because when I already feel bad, like sometimes down, I feel good right now, but like when we first started this, I was in a pretty bad slump, and it took me like getting to school and like eating a little better and getting my life under control a little bit more to kind of get out of it. But like I have friends that I grew up with that I've known since I was like 6 or 7 that just straight up started smoking meth, and I'm just like, I am so glad that I left Brevard County, because it would have been a nightmare to be there.
Hey man, my late teens. we tried cigarettes. We just decided to skip everything else, go straight to meth.
Yeah, pretty much. I actually made my friends get all together with me in the backyard of my friend's house and make a pact that we would never do drugs, because we had already even at like 11 or 12, we had already lost people to drugs. Like we had already had 2 of my friends had lost family members to drugs, and since I moved out, multiple more people, like 2, like in the same family, 2 people in the same family, like people that overdoses, like it's crazy. It's insane. The opioid epidemic is out of control.
Most of the people here, I guess, did Fletch grow up around here?
I think so.
And obviously you did.
I knew Fletch in high school, so I know he's been here for some time.
So the only ones I think that Kate does. Well, I think Kate may be aware of it, but I'm not sure about Rocktism and Red Lionhead for sure. The whole DARE program.
Oh yeah,
And so DARE was the.
So basically, an adult comes to your school and shows you what cocaine is.
Yeah, drug and alcohol.
Abuse resistance education.
Oh, drug abuse resistant education. Yeah, and they said that DARE created more drug problems than it did helping people, and that's why they
introduced kids to drugs.
They stopped it.
Man, like these small towns like Melbourne, there's just nothing to do. Everyone just literally sits around and does drugs. It's crazy. Like I don't know if I've mentioned this. I'm always gonna keep repeating stories. But
it's okay, guys. Just watch one episode and you see the same thing over and over from Dave.
I'm kidding. Anyways, that Offspring song, "The Kids Aren't All Right," like that song's like 10 years old now, and it's literally truer than it's ever been. I've heard that in countries where maybe Red Lionhead can tell us a little more firsthand information since he's so close to Sweden, but the countries where they decriminalize drugs, they have less drug problems.
Oh yeah. I think that's just a known. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, isn't that wild? It seems so counterintuitive.
I'm pretty sure that's like a known thing.
It's the same thing as like if you give heroin addicts clean needles, you'll save lives. It seems counterintuitive. They're like, no, you're just giving them drug paraphernalia.
But also,
no, they're not sharing needles. They're not.
They're prison systems and all that, they have more of a rehabilitation rather than punishment. So it
they also don't mark these people as like damaged for life, where they can never re-enter society.
You know, if you're seeing some of these things for like, you know, again, you know, Norway, Sweden, some of these other jails and some of the prisons, they said they focus more on the rehabilitation and try to get these people out in the out in the world as a model citizen, just be like, hey, you know what, I messed up, but I could be better. Rather than here, it's you screwed up.
You can never vote again. You can never do any. All your rights are gone forever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah. So.
You want to hear something really horrifying? As scary as it is to think of like walls that slowly turn brown from smoking cigarettes, like people who shoot up, they do that little like test squirt where there's those little red squirts, like their whole house is like covered in their blood. It's so horrifying.
It's
so terrible.
Just the thought of syringes, I cannot do.
Yeah, I got a Novocaine, whatever anesthetic they use in the back today to get a mole removed. Yeah. And it's like, I don't feel a thing.
Yeah, but yeah, you're talking about you guys making a pact, you know, you and your friends. Yeah. But that was like the dare was you know, I think it was like 6th grade. Or it was definitely middle school when they came in and they're like, oh, here's, you know, these are all the bad things. And one of the things that, like, you know, we had to assign was a thing that we would stay away from drugs, alcohol, tattoos, and cigarettes. I'm like, well, I've thought about that. You know, it was like when I was like 24, 25, I thought about that. I was like, I remember that pact I signed with Dare. Well, that's done.
Of those 4 people that did that pact, including myself, first of all, 3 of the 4 parents of those kids were all smoking weed that we eventually stumbled across one way or another. The 4th had smoked weed in the past regularly, but currently wasn't. And of those 4 kids,
but they did not inhale.
One of them's me. I'm like right down the middle of the line of like ultimate failure. One of them's a lawyer, so he's like all the way up to ultimate success, and the other 2 have like been down Skid Row and never gotten GEDs, so ultimate failure. Yeah. So was my pact successful? I can't really take credit for the one guy who made it out of that county alive, but yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it is over there, but there's a lot of people, you know, where there's just nothing to do and they just turn to drugs because it's like there's nothing else better to do.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, escapism is very common, but yeah, if there's no, it sounds weird, but if there's no money and there's no, you know, nightlife, you know, in a small city, there's just nowhere for people to go.
Yeah,
unless you get hooked on video games, you're going to go out and get into trouble. It's that simple. Or team sports. That's pretty much. It's either video games, team sports, or Skid Row. Those are 3 choices.
Yeah, but just to repeat, just so you know, so it's on video. So Red Lionhead says the thing is, the junkie on the street isn't doing harm, but criminalize them will guarantee them to be criminals. We have a low prison rate and a low rate of repeat criminals due to focus on rehabilitating them. And yeah, that's like I said, there, I forgot what it was. It's kind of like a documentary series on Netflix. I've seen a lot of it. It's like the world's worst prisons or something to that effect. And one of the ones, world's hardest prisons, I don't know. And the guy went into a prison in, I believe, South Sweden.
America? Oh, really?
Well, he went to a whole bunch of them, but he went to one that was in Sweden, and he walks in and is like, it's like a flat.
It's like low security.
Yeah, and the security guards were sitting on like a little couch with a big screen TV, just playing cards with the prisoners and with the prisoners. And he's talking to the prisoners like, oh, so what are you in here for? Double murder? What? And like he's like, you know, yeah, I messed up. You know, my anger got the best of me. Blah blah blah. And again, he's. The prison system, prison system is more focusing on rehabilitating him and exactly then dehumanizing him. Just like, you know, everybody screws up. You screwed up worse than most others, but you still screwed up. We can make you better.
I like that idea a lot. Yeah. You know what the turnover for rates or guards in the U.S. is like outrageous. Like they can't. It's so dangerous for them to be there, especially in our state in Florida. There's just like a chronic shortage. Like, did you hear about the Epstein arrest? This billionaire got arrested for a sex trafficking ring and dies on, you know, full whatever federal surveillance, dies, and people are like, oh, he was obviously killed. But what they don't realize is there's like 24-hour surveillance isn't 24-hour surveillance. It's like, well, maybe we'll have the janitor come in and look at you every once in a while because we literally don't have the manpower to.
It wasn't that they had just a janitor check, because I mean the prison guards were supposed to check up on it, but
you know what I'm saying.
But they were overworked. They were pulling like double, triple shifts, something like that. So
exactly. Yeah. And these also from the other side, from the criminal side, it's like academy for crooks, because they're all there for something, and they're all trading secrets, and they're all working out every day. So they come out jacked, probably hooked on drugs, because people are sneaking drugs into the prisons to help them pass the time. Jacked with secrets, with contacts, because they're all sharing their contacts and their gang affiliations in prison.
I mean, not all of them are like that.
You know what I mean? A lot of them, and no one will hire them. So what the hell else are they supposed to do when they get out of prison, other than be a super criminal?
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like Redline has it. Rather than criminalize these people who do like the smaller offenses, because once you're labeled a criminal, you have that on your record, then you can't get most other jobs. You can't do something like that. So
they'll just straight up rip up your application.
Just repeat the cycle of I can't do anything, so I'm going to sell drugs, and then just repeat the cycle over and over.
It doesn't even have to be a big criminal charge that you had. It can be. I saw a documentary where this guy was homeless, and he was very highly educated, very, very capable, great soft skills, communication, all that stuff. But he couldn't keep a job because he couldn't keep an address. So just like not having somewhere to sleep and keep his clothes and stay presentable was like keeping him from getting a job. And then when he finally did land like an advertising job, he was sleeping in like public restrooms, and he got some kind of lung infection. So he wakes up in the hospital after 2 weeks with no job, and he's back on the street again. And it's like there's no path up and out of the pit. It just doesn't exist. And he says it's because the government is corrupt. Man, I will be the first in line to agree that the government is just fucked. There's so much conflict of interest. There's so much money changing hands. It's just like it's almost pointless to be interested at all, because all you're going to see is problems, and you can't fix them. And good people who are like motivated to fix things and get in there realize that their hands are tied to actually touch anything, and become so disillusioned. Or just get in on the grift and just start doing the same thing everyone else is doing. So.
And now Redline had brought up U.S. healthcare, and it's just like that's another thing. There was a I believe she was Russian singer just recently. Mm-hmm. She was homeless, and people were filming her singing in, I believe, the subways of New York. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh my God, this homeless lady has such a beautiful voice, yada yada yada.
It happens every once in a while.
But what had turned out was she was actually a opera singer, I believe, but she had fallen ill, went to the hospital, had this ginormous bill, and she couldn't pay for her bill. She couldn't pay for the bill, so then they eventually came in and seized all her property, and she ended up homeless. And my brother, he just had a child. I don't even want to know what the bill looked like for him. I mean, he's in the military, so that was
even their care is terrible.
It was probably a little bit better than what we have here. Me as a civilian, but I've seen people's bills that they post on Reddit for having a kid, and one of the things that's like, somebody had a child and they wanted to hold the child before they took the child away. So they charged them like $25,000 for skin-to-skin contact. Like, you're charging that person to hold their child? What the fuck?
It's bonkers. Yeah. I mean, I know a lady. I work with this lady. Now, I don't know if it's a degree or licensing or what it is, but she is literally qualified to be a paralegal, a well-paying job. But she cannot get the job because she cannot afford to have her teeth fixed to be presentable enough to get through the interview.
Wow.
She's gone to interview, and they're like, "Oh, you interview great, but clients aren't going to want to talk to you if your teeth are messed up." And she has no dental insurance, so she's in this like poverty cycle. She can't get out of it, even though she's qualified, even though she's gone to school. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, the healthcare is such a big thing, and obviously the can't our neighbors to the north where Rocktism's at, they have universal health care,
holy mother,
and all that.
Did you read this? somebody in chat, Redline had back surgery 6 years ago for $220 US. I had a hernia surgery.
Oh my God.
I had a very minor hernia repair for my belly button. It was $1,000 US just for my copay, and then it was $2,000, and then another $1,000 for the anesthesiologist because it's not lumped in because you're at a surgery center, so they have their own separate fees.
Yep.
And it's like, I still get like, you think you're all paid up, and then you still get another bill from somebody else, and you're just like, okay, take my money. Whatever.
I had an X-ray done in. I was in California like 6 years ago, something like that, and I just was not feeling right, and I was like, I can't go. I'm not feeling well. I need to go to the doctors to get something checked out because it's felt like such severe
tell
pain.
Me about it. Where? What pain?
You diagnosed me right now, Dave?
No, I never heard this story.
I'm trying to think. It was either like if it was like a broken bone or it felt like a severe migraine. I forgot what it was, but I just like all of a sudden got like suddenly ill. And
that was me with that kidney stone. I was literally writhing in pain.
Yeah, and I went to the doctors and they found that they did X-rays and they're like, oh no, we didn't see anything wrong. They still gave me X-rays and all that.
Right.
I got the bill just for an X-ray and for them to look at me. It was something like $3,400, $3,400, and that was after
insurance.
Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
It's horrific. The problem is the demand curve for being alive is like a line straight up. Like, either if you charge $5,000, everyone's who can afford it is gonna buy it, and if you charge $8 million, everyone who can afford it is gonna buy it. Nobody's not gonna pay to live. They're just like, okay, I just work to live, I guess.
Yeah, and not getting political or anything like that, but the whole thing with universal healthcare, yes, it does make sense. If we could have some sort of a universal system as far as Canada,
basically what you
get other places.
What you get in universal healthcare is the government becomes the largest bidder for health services. It's like collective bargaining, basically. If you want to sell 200,000 prosthetic legs a year, you're going to give us the best contract, the best bid for the best price, and the best product, or you're not going to sell any because we're the only people buying prosthetic legs,
Yeah.
So basically you get people competing, and when companies compete, consumers always win. And right now the people just whatever name their price. And there's so many middlemen too. There's people that are like writing up fake services so they can bill Medicare. There's people writing up fake services so they can bill the VA. Jeez. They're just like, I saw a scam that they have where they're getting people into like pain clinics. They're selling them walkers they don't need. They're selling them, and they're splitting the money with the people. So people are like working the system on basically every single side they can.
So Redline, hey, you're saying the max rate you will pay in medical expenses is $250, and so is that so? Say I need to go into the doctor.
The ambulance ride in the U.S. is $6,000.
I need to go into the doctor for let's say the last injury that I had. I thought that I had a broken foot because during my last fight I went to go kick somebody. They came down with their elbow and blocked my foot. It hit the top of my foot, and I thought that my foot was broken at the top. And it. Luckily for me, my insurance was better, so I only paid $35 just for the X-ray. But say that if I needed the X-ray and they're like, well, the foot's broken, you need to get a cast and all that, that would have been much more expensive, right?
Yeah.
So would I pay only $250 for everything, for the checkup, the X-ray, the cast, and all that?
I'm thinking you're going to get a big fat yes coming through.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, Kate's told me that story where where $18,000 for just an emergency.
Caitlin brings up a good point. Like they say they accept your insurance, and then after the services are done, they say they don't accept your insurance.
And that's what happened with me in California.
Yeah,
it was that.
Well, there's so many hard sells in the healthcare industry because it's not like buying anything else. You don't walk in and go and see a menu of prices. It doesn't exist.
Right.
And
I'll take one. I'll take the number 3.
And you can't ask them. They're like, you're going to need this. You can't be like, how much is that going to cost? Because the doctor literally has no idea because he has a separate billing department. He has a separate this. He has a separate that. So you literally will never know what something costs until you get the bill.
Yeah.
And I've had times where I had broken my elbow when I went to UCF the first time, and I was at an orthopedic surgeon, and I was like, So we just paid this money, and I'm sitting at the table with someone, and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, and that's all I have to pay, and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get a bill in the mail or anything. Yeah, you're all paid up, you're good to go. I go home, 3 or 4 weeks later, I have a $1,600 bill in the mail. Yeah. It's like, what is this even for? Like, if they ran me down what my bill was gonna be, what does this other bill even mean? Like, and that was without insurance. It was just like we had paid all up front before I left. So it's kind of like, whatever, they charge whatever they want, basically.
Yeah.
It's horrifying. Everyone's had these terrible experiences with this.
Okay, thanks, Kate.
Yeah.
Go full fight. Well, usually, so Red Line has said usually you pay about $20 for normal appointments, $50 for a specialist. But if the total of all expenses, examinations, and treatment exceeds $250 in January, everything from there out is free. Holy shit! I am moving to Norway. Yeah. Let's move to Norway. Actually, no, never mind. It's too cold.
Honestly, I had this conversation with my wife recently. It's like the way that things are going, they're already so much worse than they were 20 years ago. And that was already so much worse than it was 20 years before then. So, like, if you're going to have kids, it's almost better for me and her to move out of the country and suffer, as non-insured citizens so that our kids there would be insured citizens, like, do it for them. Like, get out of this failing health system and this fucking nightmare so that they can get out of it. Even as an outside payer, it's still better than, it would be here without the social service inclusion of being a citizen.
All right. So we've been talking for a while. So we're going to take a quick break really quick.
I'm sweating now.
Dave's sweating. I got to use the little girl's room. So we will be right back in a few minutes.
Thanks, guys.
All right. to answer your question, Roxism, it is Come Undone. Who's the guy that did it? Daryl.
I forget his last name. I'll put a link in the chat.
No, you won't.
We credited him in one of the YouTube videos.
Yeah, but you won't put it in the chat. You always say, I'll put it in the description later.
When I'm not so busy in school, I'm in all 4,000 level classes right now, and I have 4.
Ooh, okay, somebody flexing over here.
I'm not making any money yet, but anyways, so I don't necessarily have time to like do a lot of shit, but I want to, and I want to do everything. I want to play music and everything. But anyways,
here it is. I'll post it in there right now.
Yeah, Duran Duran from the 80s, Come Undone. Love the song. It's fantastic. Great music video. Really ahead of its time. Really dark. And this guy is like super eccentric gay man who does the best 8-bit covers I've ever heard in my entire life. Mm-hmm. And he was totally cool with me using them. So I was like, you're a cool guy.
Yeah. So let's see. Here's the link to it. But obviously... That's what it is. It's Come Undone. It's just an 8-bit cover of it.
Yeah. You guys check out his Radiohead covers. Not only does he do the 8-bit masters, he does graphics go with him. So OK Computer is like a computer, an old
it just says OK
computer that visualizes the songs and the track names and like little graphics and stuff. He's really talented. Yeah. I'll just use his songs for as long as he'll let me.
All right. So just want to catch up on some of the chat here. You know, I pay almost $700 a month for health insurance.
I'm so sorry to the guy who I missed in chat last time again.
Yeah, I don't remember how much I pay in insurance. Obviously, it's just me by myself, and I know it comes out of my paycheck, and I just don't ever want to look at it.
Yeah.
Because I just have auto deposit, and yeah.
The best insurance I've ever had was when I worked for IKEA, obviously a European company. They have health, medical. Wait, that's the same thing. Medical, dental. Medical, dental, vision, pet insurance, and paternity leave for men. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, my job, we have
Swedish.
We have health dental, like medical, dental, vision. I have pet insurance for Satan, Lucifer, Marty McMuffin Butt.
I miss him. I thought I heard a jingle in here, and I like got excited. And
no, he's at my parents' house. Yeah, and a whole bunch of stuff, which is actually pretty good. I was surprised how well of it we have. But yes, to answer your question, Red Lionhead, yes, I will be recording my fight. Well, my dad will be recording it. We'll have multiple GoPros hooked up, and we'll be recording it. And then I don't know, I'll definitely share it with you, Red Lionhead, so that way you could see it.
Paternity leave is legally mandatory here, Red Lionhead says.
Yeah.
I want my kid to have a life that doesn't bleed him dry. I feel like every time I need something, I feel like someone's waiting to take advantage of me. Like, if my car breaks, there's a trap, don't fall for it. If you go to college, there's a trap, don't fall for it. If there's just traps every single along the way. Eyeglasses is a monopoly in the U.S. It's just like, he can't win.
You're in Monopoly.
Yeah.
You monopolized my heart.
Sorry, Kate. You took my battleship.
but yeah. I don't know. So, whew. I don't know. It was kind of like when we went to break. Dave was like, "Oh man, it got heated."
Yeah, I was like ready. I'm ready to light a torch right now. Yeah. Adam Fletch was like, "Let's go full on Fight Club," and I was like, "Let's do it."
It's funny. So you say Fight Club, and Red Lionhead brought up the thing about my fight. I don't like to tell people at my work or anything like that. That I do mixed martial arts and all this stuff.
Why?
Just because I don't feel like it's something that they need to know. If it is that it comes up, because what happens was I had to tell some people on my team. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be gone this day through this day because I have a fight, and they know, oh, I'm busy on the evenings because I'm training, blah blah blah. So my immediate team knows that I do mixed martial arts, but word has gotten out now about it, and now people have come up to me as like, oh, well, we'll fight, and then somebody will pop up and be like, no, you don't want to fight Robbie. Yeah. It's like, you don't want to fight him.
I remember one of the first episodes, I was like, I don't even want to arm wrestle you.
Arm wrestling is one thing.
We've ever seen the videos where people break their arms like a floppy mess when they arm wrestle.
But Like, well, so today we had class and we were going through a whole bunch of self-defense stuff, and I was just thinking about, well, like it was funny that the class ended up being about self-defense, because all this week I've been thinking about self-defense as far as what if somebody were to, pick a fight, somebody tries to,
if they try to stab you, X block.
No.
They try to shoot you, X block.
No.
X block saves everything, man.
If like, because I've seen videos on Reddit where people just like try to go for a sucker punch, throw that wild haymaker, or the one thing I was thinking about is, what if somebody comes up behind me, tries like bear hug me, just like a friend, right. Somebody that I know that's like, oh my god. It's like, oh my god, that's Robbi. Watch, I'm gonna sneak up behind him, give him like bear hug.
The Rakishi from Lion King. Wah! No. It's actually the Bruce Lee. It was in a Bruce Lee.
Rakishi?
Dragon. Yeah, that's the monkey.
Rafiki?
Rafiki, is it?
Rakishi Fat 2 is a wrestler.
It's Rikishi now.
but
listen, it's recorded. It's out there. I can cite the source. It's Rikishi.
but I'll say, if somebody were to come up behind me and just like bear hug me, just instincts would probably take over, and all of a sudden they'd be on the ground like, oh fuck, now I feel bad.
I have a confession. Like, I can't watch people get hurt, like the floppy arm thing I was just talking about, or skateboard accidents where they break a leg, or a soccer slide tackle where they break a leg. But I do have one guilty pleasure when it comes to fight videos. I like to watch videos of multiple attackers who can't fight picking a fight with one guy who can fight, and who takes them all out. I've seen that video in so many different contexts and so many different scenarios. And the people who start the fight are always assholes, and the person who accepts the fight always doesn't want to. He's always kind of like, no, it's not. Come on, And then he's always like, okay, we're doing this, and everyone's just like, uh-oh.
Yeah, we have a younger kid that I think he's like 13, 14 that trains with us, and he was telling me, I practice some of my stuff at school, and I told him, listen, don't practice that stuff at school,
because people are going to want to fight you.
Exactly. That's what you're putting a target on yourself. Practice it at home, practice it here, practice it wherever. If you want to go through it in your head, okay, that's one thing. But don't show people this stuff, because you're painting a giant target on yourself. Yeah, and people will want to pick on you, be like, oh, you train. Oh, we're gonna test you.
If you can fight, they want to prove that they can beat you.
Right, and I've always thought, I try to go through these different situations in my head. What if I'm out in the mall, and or the one thing, I think that the one thing that's probably in my head the most, because of how much time I spend at Disney, and now it's the Food and Wine Festival, is what if Kate and I are at what if Kate and I are at Epcot, and somebody just gets drunk and belligerent, and they start to do something, start to say something stupid to me, and they want to pick a fight? Would I just throw down right there in the middle of Disney? Fuck yeah, I would. If they start doing stupid shit,
as well.
If they start doing stupid stuff, and they try like throw a punch at me or something, nah.
It's like, nope.
Girl, I am not having.
You know what intrusive thought is?
No.
Like when you're like on a boardwalk over a lake, and you're like, what if I drop my phone? It's like you just think of like what the worst thing that can happen is at any given time. Yeah. Like if you're like making a sandwich, you're like, what if I accidentally stab myself? You never had that?
Nope.
Like intrusive. It's always like the worst possible thing you can think of. I keep having one lately where I'm like driving in traffic, and someone does something stupid and like cuts me off or blows by me. I'm like, what if they just shoot at me? Like
I've had that thought before. Yes, I've
seen people shoot, not in person, but I've seen video and news stories, especially in Florida, of people trading bullets on the highway with kids in their car, shooting at each other down the highway.
Yeah, I try to be as calm as possible when it comes to driving and stuff, because exactly.
Yeah, I'm not an aggressive driver. I'm not an aggressive person.
I mean, you drive like a grandma. You seem like I haven't driven with you in a long time.
Do you know that? Are you just like messing with me, or do you actually have like an experience that you're?
I'm assuming that I haven't driven with you in a long time.
I just like, but I don't have anywhere to be.
Exactly, and
I just go at my own pace.
And that's it. I leave early enough to get to work. I leave early enough to get to where I need to be or whatever. So I'm not in a rush. But I see all these other people that are in a ruch. I'm like, I'm like, you guys are the ones that cause the accidents. Slow down.
Like, ah!
Yeah, so
they're like Mad Max. We live, we die, we live again.
And it's just ridiculous. And I see people like ride my ass and stuff, and I'm not in the left lane. I'll be in the middle lane. I'm just like, whatever.
It's so funny because like,
get around.
The thing I always see with people is there's this passionate, fiery self-centeredness where they're like, how dare you be in my way?
Yeah.
Like, and you're just you're just driving. You're just going. I'm going like 5 over the speed limit, and they're like, you should be going 20 over the speed limit because that's what I want to go, and you're slowing me down. And they blow by you as fast as they possibly can, and look at you like, drive by, and it's like you're a fucking madman.
Yeah,
you're a fucking lunatic.
And those kind of things, exactly. And I think about it, the people that because so back to like the motorcycle and all that stuff. So when we were going to
thank you, Rocktism, for backing me up on intrusive thoughts. Continue.
When we were going down to Key West one of the times, it was me and my brother on our motorcycles, and then my dad and my mom on his motorcycle, and a car cut him off. My dad was in front of me. A car cut him off. Didn't like inches away from because the car was in an exit only lane, and I guess he realized.
Oh no!
Exactly,
I see that shit all
shifted over. Me and my brother got pissed because that's our father, and our mom and our dad are on the motorcycle. You are an idiot driver.
You literally didn't kill my parents in front of me.
We accelerated, got in front of the car, and just slammed on our brakes. He tried to go around us on the right lane, and we forced him off the highway because he wanted to do the same thing. He got to the right, got into an exit only lane, and was like trying to accelerate. But obviously, we're on motorcycles. You cannot outrace us.
I'm sure you've seen the video where that same sort of thing happens, where someone almost gets hurt, and then the guy in the car wants to stop and fight with like 4 guys with motorcycle helmets in their hands. It's like that's a bad idea, man. That's a really bad idea. They're gonna beat the absolute hell out of you.
I mean, I don't want to
incriminate yourself.
No. Say like these videos are hilarious or anything like that.
When it's deserved, that's
encouraging these things.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I don't understand are the people that on the motorcycles that they end up taking off their helmet to fight. No, leave your helmet on.
No, they want to hit him with the helmet.
No,
are you seeing the ones where they headbutt with the helmet on?
Yeah, I've seen those. But people take off their helmet, like try getting in people's face, and then they end up getting punched in the face. Yeah. Keep your helmet on, keep the gloves on, and just hit them with it.
I saw a video from the UK where someone, like you said, is about to miss their exit, and instead of just getting off the next exit like a sane person, dead stops in the middle of the highway, and like a 18-wheeler
that happened today.
Goes to dodge them and flips, and then another car goes to dodge them and crashes, and then the person's just like, I made my exit.
Yeah, I would say red line head. You're saying kilometers per hour. Please tell me that in America in America measurements.
We're gonna need we need a person whose full-time job is just to convert in our chat.
Yeah, it is. So since the chat's not on here, I gotta work on the layout so I can get the chat in and everything. But Red Line Head is saying it is laughable how much faster you need to be on average over a long distance to gain anything, and that is it exactly. To average out saving some time, you have to be going so much faster.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like every time someone blows a red light or something, you see them with you with the next red light. It's like they're causing so much risk for everyone for nothing.
Yeah. So like you're saying, somebody stopped in the middle of the road. So I was on I-4. So I-4 is a major highway here in Florida. It covers coast to coast from east to west, and it's
like Hell's Highway.
It's literally one of the worst streets, one of the worst highways in the U.S. Mm-hmm. Today on the way to work, so it's a 4 lanes where we were at. A car came to a full stop on the second from the second from the left. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, they were on the second lane, full stop because they needed to get all the way across to the right to get to the exit. Full stop.
Did you ever see the white Subaru that I used to drive? The white Subaru hatchback?
Yeah.
That's how I lost that house, because someone was 3 lanes over from the turn and came over at almost a 90-degree angle at night in the rain without signaling. It's madness. I've seen all this. I can literally not drive anywhere on I-4 without seeing something insane.
Yeah, and the problem with I-4 is, like I said, it is the major highway that goes from coast to coast. But the thing is, that's the major highway to get off to the theme parks, to get off to other major cities and stuff like that. So that's the reason why it's so bad, especially when you get to the area where Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, all the theme parks.
Cars,
exactly. You have all the tourists that, again, they don't
even used to driving on the right-hand side of the road.
They don't know the roads. They see the Universal International Drive exit and they're all the way to the left. They're like, shit, and he cut all the way across 4 or 5 lanes. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's madness.
Yeah.
Let's just burn it all and start over. Let's just
just burn Florida.
Hard, just hold down the power button. Just hold that pillow over the face until it goes into the sweet nothing, and we'll just start fresh.
Yeah, can we just insert a new quarter, another quarter, and just start over? Like,
you know what the worst thing is like the way that roads come into being, they're built like on the least effort. So if there's a hill, they like go around it. And this philosophy over the course of like 200 years, from when they went to wagons to cars, to buggies to cars, has just made nightmare cities. And the only cities I've ever been in that were like well planned, easy to drive in cities, were cities that were bombed to nothing during World War II. So when you go to like Paris, there's blocks upon blocks upon blocks of square blocks with numbered roads, where it's just like, this is how cities should look. Like, everything should be organized. No one-way streets downtown. No, it's just awful. Everything is just, it just needs to be.
I don't know. So I think it's just the people.
Yeah.
Because
that's true too.
I've driven all over the place. California is god awful. As far as roads go. But the thing is,
you ever driven through Atlanta?
It's not. Yes, I have. But California, it's not bad. I am okay sitting in traffic in California because everybody else is in the same traffic. They know it sucks. Nobody's trying to cut people off like how it is here in Florida.
They're so aggressive here.
And Hawaii.
The speed limits are just like recommendations. Like no one's driving the speed. No one's driving anywhere near the speed limit.
Hawaii, same thing. If there's traffic, but Hawaii is different because the Hawaii mentality is pretty much what they call like low. So it's just like, exactly, hang loose. I'm in no rush. You're in no rush. Whatever.
That's me. That's kind of me. When I went to the Bahamas, I just like got along with everybody.
Yeah.
There's people driving tour boats with like a bottle of rum, just like hop in.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, whatever. We'll just I'll get there eventually. It doesn't matter. So, and I think that's like my same mentality. If I'm late, it's my own fault. Mm-hmm. I didn't wake up early enough. I didn't leave early enough.
You know what's funny? The one time that I've been pulled over for speeding, I was. 2 reasons I was speeding. One, because I had just replaced the CV axles in my car and I wanted to make sure that they were like running well and kind of get a feel for it, listen for sounds and stuff. And 2, because I was late for work. After I got pulled over by the cop and talked to and written the ticket and whatever, I was still on time to work. So I was like, I'm an idiot. I was like, all I did was give myself a ticket.
Yeah, no, and Fletch just brought up something. If you want to understand the bad driving in Florida, go to Puerto Rico and drive around the island.
Have you been to Puerto Rico?
It will all make sense. It will much sense there. So I have a grandmother who lives in Puerto Rico, and I visited Puerto Rico.
Has a lot of family in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico is I can't say that anymore because I've seen it here now in Florida. But Puerto Rico was the first place that I saw somebody literally go off the highway, realize that's not their exit, put the car in full reverse down the off ramp, and go right back onto the highway.
I've seen that here.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Now I've seen, and the thing is that I've seen people do that. I've seen people drive on the shoulders, because they're like, oh, screw this traffic. They drive in the breakdown lane, drive on the shoulder all the way up. Motorcycles. So Orlando or Florida as a whole, we do not allow lane cutting. Lane cutting on motorcycles is, if there are 2 lanes, you could drive in the middle of the 2 lanes to get ahead. Yeah. You cannot do that here in Florida. People do it anyway.
Those are the people I don't like. If you blow by me in lane cutting at like 100 miles an hour, it's like, you can't have a watch for motorcycles sticker on the back of your motorcycle if that's how you're going to drive.
Right.
Like, it's just madness.
No. Yeah.
What if someone like opened up their door at rush hour traffic to like pour out their coffee or something, and you're going 180 and down the line?
There's one motorcyclist that I haven't seen him in a while, so I'm not sure if he got pulled over, arrested,
I've seen people die on the way to work
or whatever. But I've thought about that. I don't throw anything outside of my car, but what if somebody was just like, oh, fuck my coffee, and he just drives by, and it's just like, my God.
People will open their door to do it because they don't want to get coffee on the outside of their car. So
yeah. Caitlin knows about it. Yes, exactly. The backpack guy. Yes. Yep. Have you seen him, Caitlin?
One time when I was driving to work, there was like, you know how you can tell when it's a really bad accident where they're like covering up body parts on the road?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And when I got to work, it turned out that guy was a relative of one of the guys I worked with. So, and he was like super broken up, and I was like, I literally saw your dead relative on the way to work, and it was a motorcycle.
Oh, nice. So that's okay. So that's probably it. That because I know I have seen because it's over there in the Maitland area that he would every morning I would see him, and I haven't seen him in a while. But yeah, there was somebody that I was talking to, and she was like trying to tell me that I needed to stop riding my motorcycle because one of her friends had died from a motorcycle crash, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to hear what happened. He was speeding down the highway, rear-ended somebody.
And who stopped?
I'm not sure if they were stopped or there, and I just like, I'm sorry that your friend's an idiot, but no,
it does attract a certain kind of person. If we were to pull this all together, we're talking about the traffic in Puerto Rico, we're talking about motorcycle drivers. How about them Puerto Rican motorcycle drivers? Because I've got one in my family. He's a madman.
Yeah.
The whole Fast and the Furious, they call it La Fiebre in
that's
the
the race.
Yeah, the motorcycles are way worse.
Yeah.
Like in the neighborhood that my parents lived at, you would literally hear people blow by the neighborhood. Like 100 at like 1 a.m.
Yeah, we in high school we would all meet up at Buffalo Wild Wings or one of the other restaurants down here at like the local town centers, and everybody's like, oh, we're gonna go out to La Fiebre. I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
no thanks,
have fun.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so my wife is 100% Puerto Rican. She's one generation removed from actually being born in Puerto Rico, but she doesn't really speak Spanish. She understands. Her parents are both like kind of in different ways wild and crazy Puerto Ricans, and all of her siblings.
That sounds like a great show. Wild and crazy Puerto Ricans.
Literally, all of her siblings are like crazy Puerto Ricans, and like I love them. They're great. They're so much fun to be around. Yeah. But like, would I be on the back of her brother's motorcycle? Hell no, I would not be on the back of his motorcycle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can imagine.
Cool.
I've heard so many crazy stories from Puerto Rico.
Would you sit on the back of my motorcycle? Hold me tight.
Yeah, sure. As long as you don't go 120 and do a wheelie in a
no promises. No promises.
25 mile per hour speed limit neighborhood.
We're gonna go straight through my neighborhood over the speed bump.
I have I kind of have a negative. I've never been to Puerto Rico, but I kind of have a negative association with it just from the stories I've heard because
it's great. Honestly,
I've worked with a lot of like exchange students or gone to school with a lot of exchange students in Puerto Rico, and they'll be like, "Yeah, someone killed my cousin with a machete in a bar," and I'll just be like, that shit just happens there? Like, where's the law?
I mean, that shit happens here too.
Yeah, but not like with a machete. I mean, I guess it does. Like, someone got stabbed in the heart at a bar in Orlando.
What do you mean it doesn't happen here? It happens here. It happens.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on what neighborhood you're in, but
it happens all over the place. There's I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stories that we don't hear about.
Yeah, that's true. And in areas where it's just like another day, that's when the one you don't hear about. So it's just a Wednesday. I'd like to go to Puerto Rico. The pictures I've seen of Puerto Rico look really pretty. My extended family by marriage has like a coffee plantation in Puerto Rico, and I'm sure it would be beautiful to walk around.
A coffee plantation?
Like, I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but yeah, a coffee, farm coffee company or whatever.
I did hear about that in Finland. Yeah,
I heard about that one too. There was just a quadruple stabbing in Paris.
Yeah, in Paris. Yeah,
pretty wild. When we stayed in Paris, one of the other, what's the word, boarders, like when you're staying at a B&B, like got in a drunken rampage with the other people in the house, and we just like cowered in the bedroom, like they're yelling in France and breaking dishes out there. Like,
they're yelling in France.
Technically correct. They are yelling in France.
They were in France.
Yelling in French. We were just like, I just want to sleep. Yeah. It's like I'm going to walk for 9 hours tomorrow. I just please. I think there was blood on the floor when we walked out. Apparently, like, the police had come and, like, gotten him and everything. And then the B&B guy was like, I am so sorry that happened to you. And we're just like, yeah, thanks.
Blood on the dance floor? Jesus Christ, no. Get that shit out of here.
Ooh, yeah. God. Well, you like Hypercrush. It's not that far removed.
Oh, my God. Get the fuck out of my house. If you're gonna say that.
No, that's fine.
That's too emo for me. What's funny is that Blood on the Dance Floor, I hung out with Davi a lot because of the scene that we were in, because of you guys in the band, and we just hung out with Blood on the Dance Floor. And I'm just like,
I mean, I'm all for being crazy, but
no. The Blood on the Dance Floor. I set my friends on fire trying to think who were some of the other bands that we hung out with.
We played many times with what's that band called? Where all the guys have like tons of tattoos. Why can't I remember it now? I've said it a million times.
There's a bunch of bands that people that have.
They're fairly big. They were fairly well known. They were older than us.
Oh yeah, Incubus.
I keep coming up with.
Yeah, I know exactly. Good thing I was a 13-year-old girl. Yeah, exactly.
It's the same kind of shit. Nice guys, but terrible music. Objectively, like my taste in music is the objective authority. It was.
I still, you know, I think one of the best times I had hanging out with a band was Breathe Carolina. That was a fun time. We just got shit faced across the street, and then they're like, "Oh, we gotta do a show." And then I'm walking up there, and Dorsa, she sees me walking up with the band, and she's like, "What?"
He's like,
"How the fuck?" Yeah.
God, it's gonna drive me crazy that I can't remember what this band's called. Why I've played with them like 5 times. Anyways,
older guys, I can't remember.
I wish Johnny was in the chat.
Oh,
I think there's a D in the band.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't. What's his name's band? Was it Bennett's band? Was it?
No.
Okay.
In Violent Times, no.
Yeah.
But maybe if I just keep saying enough.
Oh, yeah, Adam's in here.
But we played with so many bands. I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh my
God! Drive me crazy. Here, I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Ailstorm, yes. I still listen to Ailstorm. Reminds me of you all the time, Red Lionhead. What's up, Ricky? God, that band, Blood on the Dance Floor. I can't even believe that you brought that up. Anyway. Yeah.
Trying to remember this name is going to totally derail my thought process. Like, you know how when you open the task manager and it's like 93% of your processing power is running this application?
Chrome.
You're like, I'm trying to, no, you're like compressing a video and you're like, I just want to open, Internet Explorer and I don't have enough memory.
Why do you open up Internet Explorer?
I just was using it as an example of like a shitty program that would be.
Yeah.
We're never gonna get sponsored for anything because we always shit on everything. Like that's terrible. That's terrible. That tastes bad. That's bad for you. Don't get Taco Bell. I hate that.
Dude.
Yeah.
So
I did get Taco Bell, by the way.
So I was actually talking to somebody today at work because I'm on a little bit of a diet until my fight. I'm right at weight.
Well, I'm actually trying to gain weight to make weight right now, so that's why.
Are you really gaining weight to make weight? Okay, so I'm actually at weight, and I'm trying to stay at weight for the next couple weeks for my weigh-in. But
damn it, Fletch.
One of the guys said, "I was like, oh, we're gonna go get burgers." I'm like, fuck. Like we started talking about Five Guys. That's how the conversation went into cannibalism at work. Was because we started talking about
Five Guys does sound like a cannibal restaurant.
We started talking about burgers and went to that, and man, just that thought about Five Guys burger. So if for anybody that doesn't know, Five Guys is like super greasy, real bad
super
for
fresh,
you.
Though.
But yeah, it's fresh, and they just. I don't know what it is. They have cocaine in it or something, but man, it's so good.
It's the freshness. The potatoes are literally driven in like that morning.
And yeah,
they make their fries literally from the potatoes there.
They put the fries in the bag, and then they put the burger right on top. And by the time you walk to your table with the fries,
the bag is soaked through with grease.
The bag's see through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically.
So yeah, it's just like, man, I just want it so bad. You're far away from being below heavyweight. What
Five Guys sounds like a regular Friday night.
That's what actually. So like I said, the guy that I talked to at work, Dave, no, stop hitting the table.
Just turn me off from there.
I can't turn you off from here.
I'll turn myself off. I just put my hands over my face.
But that was the joke that the guy that I talked to that he and I were talking. I was like, man, I could go for some Five Guys, and he looked at me, and he was like, yeah, I thought you had enough of that, and I was like, oh my god.
Why have I never heard that joke before? It seems so obvious. You know, one of my favorite things about Five Guys is you walk in and there's like drawings, like they have the little spot where kids draw like stuff about Five Guys, and there's always like really weird like JoJo references or weeaboo jokes in there. That's great. It's like memes in real life. They're brought to life before my eyes.
What's going on? Oh, Saturday lunch. What?
God, I wish I could remember that band. It's driving me absolutely crazy. They were older than us, taller than us, big shaggy emo hair, tattoos. I want to say day something.
A day to remember?
No, it's not a day.
I would say.
Anyways.
Days of Our Lives?
Yeah, Days of Our Lives, starring, I don't know, some soap opera actor. I can't name any. George Clooney. There you go. General Hospital.
God. This is... What do you mean I'm skittish? I'm not skittish. I'm just like Dave's over here doing phallic things.
Anyways, let's talk about burgers. Caitlin, if you guys ever go down to the Keys again, you got to stop at Le Tube.
Her and I have never been to the Keys together. I don't know if she
all go.
I don't know if she's ever been to the Keys, but I haven't been to the Keys since my family's gone down there.
Le Tube is this big burger place. It's like a burger bar, but burgers are the focus, and it's this big wooden building that's like hanging off over the water, like a seafood restaurant over the water.
Yeah.
And it's just like super chill burgers, but they're so good. I think it was on. I think their claim to fame is like being on one of Oprah's food tours or something.
Oh, nice.
But it's really good.
Oh, you're nice. Oh my God, Whataburger. So Whataburger.
We still have one down here somewhere.
No, we don't. All the Whataburgers have closed down. At least from what all the Whataburgers that I knew. So in high school, I think it was my senior year of high school, I had this is when I was like peak skateboarding, and I was like probably the thinnest because I would never wore Jinkos. I wanted Jinkos, but I never wore Jinkos.
I had like 2 or 3 pairs.
But see, exactly, the closest one is in Tallahassee. Yeah, so there's none close by. And like I said, I was in peak skateboarding, and there was a Whataburger that's right next to my middle school. It was there, and we were skating at my middle school. We went to Whataburger, and they had a triple meat, triple cheese. So that's 3 meat patties, 3.
Good Lord, how did you even get your mouth?
I ate 2 of those, and I was going right back to skateboarding after that.
That's awful. I would be so like food drunk. I would just not be able to do anything physical.
So what, Red Lion Head? You were yeah, exactly. Hold on before I go to the Red Lion Head, but like what Joe said, Makokeo. Yeah, I wanted Jinkos, but I went the complete opposite, where I wore the skinny jeans, and I was pretty much the first guy in high school to wear skinny jeans.
It's a parabola curve. In junior high, it was Jinkos, and then when I got to high school, towards the end, it started to be skinny jeans, and I was like, no, I'm not wearing skinny jeans. I'm wearing normal jeans. And then the guys in the band talked me into wearing skinny jeans, and I was like...
And then you put them on, you're like, ooh, my butt looks good.
Skinny jeans are pretty cool.
So the Red Lion Head, are you trying to go down into a lighter weight bracket, or are you trying to go into trying to be heavier on it so you could be in that bottom of the weight bracket? But yeah, I remember the worst that I was ever sick was I ate... So at McDonald's, I don't know if I told this story before, but McDonald's used to have the drop a coin into like the little water thing. And
I always win those.
I won it so many times that I pretty much made I pretty much made meals just from like a couple of cents, because
I used to win pizzas like that. I used to win tacos like that.
I made one in, and I got a Big Mac, and then I made another one in, and they gave me fries and a drink. And the person called their manager, and she's like, "Oh, he just made both of these. No, he just made both of these in. And the manager's like, do it again. I'll double your meal.
Did it
again. So I got 2 Big Macs, 2 fries, and then just one drink. Mm-hmm. I was so sick that night.
There was a period,
but I did it for free. Well, not really for a couple cents.
There's a period of 2 weeks where I could just not lose those things. I was hitting them at like Taco Bell's. I was hitting them at movie rental places. And then it even got to the point where like stuff was just happening in my favor. I walked into a pizza place and I ordered a pizza, and then their toilet started overflowing, and they were like, "Your pizza's ready. We got to evacuate the building. Just get out." And I was like, "You don't have to pay. Just here's your pizza. Get out the building. We got to get out of the building." And then stuff like that was just happening. I would go and put money in a Sprite machine, and it pushed out every single Sprite in the entire machine. I had to get a shopping cart and like catch them all.
Man, but yeah, no, I've been thinking about so I have another fight in January, in Los Angeles, and I've been thinking so. Come 2 weeks from now, I'll be done. I'll have November to pretty much not really eat whatever I want, but I'll be off of a diet. I don't need to do this every single day.
You can have like a muffin and be like,
no, not a muffin. I'm gonna have a shitty ass burger. And I've been thinking about
it's always burger for me.
I've been thinking about what would I do. So for the belt test that we had last month, we bought some pizzas. I ate 3 slices of pizza. I was like, I have never eaten 3 slices of pizza since I started losing weight. Like since I ate healthy.
I'm gonna quote the chat. That sounds like a Friday night for me.
Like no, I've eaten an entire pie. Like I've eaten an entire box of pizza by myself.
Lunch, by the time dinner comes around, I'm eating that damn pizza, most of it.
Yeah. So oh yeah, that's right. So Kate. Oh yeah, everybody wish Kate a happy early birthday. It's her birthday this Sunday. I got her a cake of my face. I got her a cake that's my face. So
I like it.
And I definitely got it way bigger than
life size.
I thought. How big do you think my head is, Dave?
No, I said bigger than.
He said life size is this big.
No, you said bigger than. I finished your sentence.
No, it's a. I looked at it. I placed the order and I placed the order and I'm like, okay, yeah, let me get a small. And once I got all the paperwork that showed me like everything,
paperwork is a damn cake.
No,
I know what you're saying.
But because it was a custom
my
order.
Kid's name is Mikey.
No,
I wanted to say
no,
it was a race car.
No, shut up. No, it was a custom cake that they had a photo, they had all this stuff,
cake boss,
and they had little check marks about how big the cake was. And on the small, it was checked, and it says 25 to 35 people. I was like,
what?
I was like, fuck.
That's like one of those big rectangle pizzas, like 20, 30 slice pizza.
Yeah. So
people are gonna be getting cake. We're gonna be giving out cake to all of our.
Yeah. So her and I are gonna have a lot of cake to go through. I'm gonna have definitely have Joe, happy early birthday. I did forget that.
Birthdays for everyone.
I'm sorry. I did forget that your birthday was this month.
That's the worst. Like when you get the cake or the thing or whatever the thing is, and then it's like fresh and it's hot, and you're like, yeah, I deserve to do something nice for myself.
I don't want hot cake.
And whatever it is.
I don't want hot cake.
If it's cookies, chocolate chip cookies right out of the oven, fresh and hot. But the next day, you're like, there's still more of this, and then you're like, I gonna have to eat it, or I'm gonna have to throw it away. It's like I don't want to throw it away.
Well, we
eat half of a cake.
We came to the decision that she's gonna take the cake into work, and like I said, since it's my face, they're gonna have to look exactly. They're gonna have to cut into me or something like that. Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah, but
that's another guilty pleasure of mine is cake fails. I'm like.
Have you seen people slamming people straight, but they miss?
No, I mean like when people go to get a cake made, and it just comes out terrible. It's like supposed to be Dora the Explorer, and she looks like she's melting or she's on meth or something.
Yeah, oh no, I saw what you said, Joe. I thought that I remembered your birthday was the beginning of a month, but I forgot what month it was. But yeah, no, I'm with you, Red Lionhead. I don't really care to celebrate my birthday. I don't know.
Yeah,
I go out to dinner with my parents. Kate came with me.
Must be nice.
Fuck off! God, he's been. God damn it! He's been doing this to me for years.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
I can't now. Dave's getting weird, guys. It's time to.
I'm getting loopy. Too much Diet Coke.
It's coming to the end of the show, and Dave's getting weird.
I heard on another podcast they said that Coca-Cola is like 8 balls for kids. It's like sugar, caffeine, just not a good idea.
So yeah, Red Lionhead. So
Red Lionhead. The joke is that my parents are both dead. That's
that's literally it. So this happened. This first happened about what 8 years ago, not 9 years ago. How long has it ago since your dad passed away?
I'm really bad with dates.
Yeah. So I've talked about it. I've talked about it before, but when Dave's dad passed away, we were living together, and any time that something would
like the last slice of pizza.
Yeah, exactly. So, and anything would happen. Dave wanted to play a game that I had or something like that.
I can't use the TV. I'm going to use the TV and watch something.
But my dad just died.
But my parents died.
Yeah, it was always Robbi.
It's the ultimate trump card.
Yeah.
It's a nuclear bomb. Like,
it was always
do
that.
Not know what to say.
There would be the last soda, the last beer. Robbi, my dad just died. And I was like, fuck, man.
My dad would want me to have it.
God.
Someone at work had asked me to try to set a point about you're not really an adult because your parents are looking out for you, and they tried to pull me into their conversation, and they were like, Dave, what about your parents, right? And I was like, they're dead.
Yeah.
And she was just that speaker wind tunnel. It's like,
yeah.
I was like,
and yeah, Dave and I, we've known each other for 10, 11 years, and he actually, when his mom passed away, we weren't hanging out or something, but he and I, we still keep in contact. And yeah, he still does that to me. He's like, Robbi, both my parents are dead. What the fuck are you gonna do about that? And it's like, God damn it.
Rocktism just reminded me of a story. He's saying I do that with my cancer. Yeah. One time, I was feeling kind of conversational with a guy when I took his credit card when I was working at the auto shop, and he was noticeably thinner in real life than the card. And I was like, "Man, what's your secret?" And he was like, "Cancer." I got another one.
There you go. That's that dark humor.
I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but I was helping this girl lift a heavy box or something at a store, and she was like, "Man, my boyfriend usually does all this stuff for me." And I was like, "Where's that lazy guy at? Where's that crazy cue ball at?" And she's like, "Jail." That Keenan face. She's like,
yeah.
That was me.
God.
Oh man.
Yeah, Dave has an interesting sense of humor. At first, it caught me off guard because it's like I said, when his dad first passed away, and we were living together, and he just brought up, I was like, "Fuck, now I feel bad." Okay, yeah, you're right. I gotta give it to Dave. And then afterwards, like, no, fuck right off.
It's the ultimate. You know what's strangely liberating is my phone can ring and I'll just be like, I don't give a shit. Who matters? Yeah. It's like, who could it possibly be?
God.
Oh yeah. Feels good in my belly.
It feels good?
It feels good.
You laughed it all off?
Yeah, it's good. Laughter is the best medicine,
Yeah.
That's why I don't vaccinate my kids. That's why I just tickle them.
What?
They're dead now.
You don't
have to vaccinate your kids. Laughter is the best medicine.
Oh my God.
Shut up.
That was bad. That was a bad one.
I don't know. It wasn't supposed to be like a big
setup
and a joke. It was supposed to be like a little comment, and then we move on, and then we were like,
That's exactly how
I'll say it again louder, and it'll be even funnier the second time.
So I think it's 11 o'clock. We should wrap things up. I don't know if you got anything else that you want to add into this.
Well, we covered cancer, cannibalism.
Yeah. Well, no. So is anything else you want to touch up on before we go?
No.
All right. Yeah.
So
yeah. I know. I've been. Oh yeah. We touched up on blood on the dance floor.
Emo, which is also cancer. It's
cancer. Yeah. But yeah. So Rocktism brought up the whole Rocksmith thing, and obviously Dave's never gonna play Rocksmith. He can't play guitar.
I can fake the drums, but there's no drums in Rocksmith.
Yeah, no, there's no drums in Rocksmith. Not yet.
I'm like the best rock band musician who's not actually a musician.
So
I mean, singing is I do that well. But.
So I know that I've said in my Discord that I won't be doing Rocksmith probably anymore. I do miss playing Rocksmith, but it was not really helping me out. But I did get a guitar instructor that he's been coming.
Oh,
well,
cool.
He's going to be coming over this.
How the hell did you find the time to do this? Oh, on the weekends.
Yeah, on weekends. Just early in the morning, he comes over, and he's helping me out. So
Robbie, could I borrow your guitar?
What?
Could I borrow your new guitar, maybe?
No, you can't borrow my new
Well,
guitar.
My parents are dead.
No, fuck off. You could borrow my old.
High five, autism.
You could borrow the old shitty one.
Nah, I don't want that.
But yeah.
Only the best for me.
I've been thinking about playing a little bit of Rocksmith, but for me, I want to get back on streaming to do more of my own music. I've been working with a coworker of mine to make some music. Dave, we talked about it. We need to get
I'm down.
Fletch back here again.
You understand like how in love with the idea I am of playing music again and like going all out. We set the date. It's MegaCon in April of next year. Well, we can. Practice.
That's right. You did
fill out the.
You did talk about that.
Slots, and I'm gonna put on a shit ton of eyeliner, and dress up like Wario.
Yeah,
it'll be a good time.
Yeah. So the kind of the project that we're working on, me and my coworker, is like a doom metal kind of like real heavy. I'm playing like I'm playing the rhythm guitar and bass, and it's just drop tuned all the way down to drop C, and it's just heavy stuff. So not like super fast like Slayer or anything like that, but it's just real deep. Exactly. No, I don't think that people who stream Rocksmith are shit. Just you, Red Lionhead. That has nothing to do with Rocksmith. It's just you.
Yeah, Rocktism says. Yeah.
No. Yeah. See. Well, Rocktism.
If it's a real chord, it's not low enough. It has to be like not even on the chromatic. Just.
Rocktism is just like Rocktism sent me a message. Well, Rocktism was talking to me and Ostbug about different strings, and Rocktism wanted to play in F sharp standard, which is on bass, which is real low. I'm just like, fuck, that is just so deep. Nope.
Could you say that again for the recording?
It's so deep.
The first time was perfect.
Yeah. You need to discuss something with me after stream.
That's good.
Oh God, this is not gonna be good. But yeah, no. So I want to start streaming more again. Music stuff. I have a whole bunch of equipment that I have hooked up, and it's just I don't know if I haven't had the energy
just
or whatever, but
time. I think just time with you, honestly. I never see you like lazy out on something. I don't think energy is your
and Kate and I have been spending more time together, and it's been nice, exactly. But now I'm disgusted to hang out with her. We just celebrated 1 year together. I just want to strangle myself. So it's just like,
man, this is a kazoo day. There's so many birthdays and like anniversaries. Yeah. I went to Epcot and I was like, I really should tell Robbie I'm going, but it was kind of spur of the moment. So
when did you go?
They had Postmodern Jukebox there.
Oh yeah,
last week I guess.
Yeah.
I got nice and sunburned.
Yeah, we saw Sugar Ray last night, and then we went and saw Smash Mouth a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Fletch whoever cut us that sweet video clip last time. Yeah, cut a clip of Robbie going, "It is so deep."
It's so deep. Yeah, exactly. I'm
tube preamp. Nice. It's nice until you break a tube, then it's not nice anymore.
Yeah, no, I just bought a. Well, I can't say I just bought, but I bought a Katana amp, and it hooks up to like it has a USB out, so I can hook that up and just do it as a
nice
USB interface. But I just need to find not really the time, but just find for me just encouragement to do, because for me it's like playing guitar is still fresh.
I think you're also spread so thin that it's probably hard for you to muster up the enthusiasm to take on another thing, you know.
Well, it's not really me taking on another thing, because it would just be me practicing.
Yeah,
like I practice the guitar anyway, so it would just be me practicing, hanging out with people, talking about music.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have a guitar instructor that he pretty much gives me homework. It's like, so why not practice the homework on there and talk to people? But yeah, so like I said, hopefully I could get back onto streaming sometime soon and have a fairly regular streaming schedule again. I do miss all you people, except for Rocktism. Fuck you.
Your group is great. I love it.
What?
Your group is great. I love it. It's so deep.
My group goes deep.
Your group is deep.
Yeah, we go real deep.
Yeah.
How deep do we go? How low can you go?
What's the song? How deep is your love? How deep is your love?
No, Ricky. I'm just cheating on Ostbug because Ostbug was the one that was helping me out. I'm just like, fuck Ostbug. I'll get this guy.
5 guys on a Friday night. That sounds like a plan. All 5 of us.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I don't know. Anything else? Well, you didn't introduce yourself. That's Dave.
Oh yeah, I'm Dave.
And I'm Robbi.
We're your beefy, spicy bullies for this evening. We're not gonna fail you again, even when Robbi leaves. It might just be me and like.
Yeah, next week. Next week we'll have a regular episode.
Be me and the cake of your face.
Yeah, so it'll be me. It'll be us next week, and then the following week we're gonna have to figure something out. Either we do it over Discord, or Dave's gonna have to do the show solo. But yeah,
get weird.
In 2 weeks will be my fight. I will record it, and like I said, Red Lionhead. Either I'll share it. Maybe we'll go over the highlights during the following podcast.
Clip show already.
Yeah,
10 episodes in, we're already regurgitating.
No, that'll be 12. No, clips of my fight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that. I like that. I like that idea.
All right, so yeah.
And fidget spinners.
Mm-hmm. And Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite. Yeah.
And dabs.
And what are those little balls? Those little toy balls that they're Orbeez. Oh, you're obviously not down with 8 and under YouTube. Right?
I'm not. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. Woo.